Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Today we're diving into The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book isn't your typical finance guide filled with complicated charts and formulas. Instead, it explores the often overlooked psychological aspects of money, arguing that mastering the psychology of money is more important than your technical financial knowledge. As Housel says, doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. The book kicks off with contrasting stories of Ronald Read, a janitor who amassed an $8 million fortune through patient investing, and Richard Foscone, a Harvard-educated financial executive who went bankrupt. This highlights the book's core premise. Financial success is less about intelligence and more about behavior. Even geniuses can be financial disasters if they can't control their emotions, while ordinary people can become wealthy with the right behavioral skills. As Housel points out, it's unusual for someone with no formal training to outperform experts in fields like medicine or engineering, but it happens in investing because it's a soft skill. A key takeaway from the first chapter is that no one is crazy when it comes to money. We all have unique experiences that shape our financial decisions. What might seem irrational to one person could be perfectly reasonable to someone else, given their background and life lessons. This is especially relevant because many modern financial concepts like retirement savings and index funds are relatively new. We're all still figuring this stuff out. Luck and risk are intertwined. The book tells the story of Bill Gates, who attended one of the few high schools with a computer in 1968, giving him a massive head start in the tech world. This stroke of luck contrasts with the tragic story of Gates's equally brilliant friend Kent Evans, who died in a mountaineering accident. Both luck and risk are powerful forces that highlight the unpredictable nature of life. They demonstrate how events outside our control can significantly impact our outcomes. As Michael Batnick, mentioned in the book, says, "Some lessons have to be experienced before they can be understood." The idea of enough is crucial. The book recounts the stories of Rajat Gupta and Bernie Madoff, both incredibly successful in their fields, who ruined their lives by chasing more wealth despite already having immense fortunes. They highlight the danger of never feeling like you have enough. It is essential to define what enough means to you and recognize that social comparison can be a never-ending and ultimately unsatisfying pursuit. As Warren Buffett says, there is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. Compounding is the most powerful force in finance. The book uses the analogy of ice ages to explain how small changes can lead to enormous results over time. Just as a cool summer that leaves a little snow can eventually lead to an ice age, small savings consistently invested can grow into extraordinary wealth. The book emphasizes that Warren Buffett's success is not just about skill but about time. He's been investing consistently for over 7 decades. Had he started later, his fortune would be drastically smaller. Even Jim Simons, with a higher average annual return than Buffett, has a significantly smaller net worth due to starting later in life. Staying wealthy requires a different skill set than getting wealthy. The book contrasts Jesse Livermore, a brilliant trader who made and lost fortunes multiple times, with the more prudent approach of Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. It stresses the importance of survival in building long-term wealth. Avoiding ruin, not maximizing gains, should be the cornerstone of your strategy. As Nassim Taleb, quoted in the book, states, "Having an edge and surviving are two different things. The first requires the second. You need to avoid ruin at all costs." Wealth is what you don't see. The book discusses the experience of the author as a valet, observing people who looked rich but were deeply in debt. True wealth, the book argues, is the ability to have options and flexibility. It's about the cars not purchased, the vacations not taken, and the financial assets not yet spent. It's about saving not just for specific goals, but for unforeseen circumstances and to gain control over your time. Saving money provides more than just financial security. It offers control over your time, which is invaluable. Saving allows you to take risks, pursue opportunities, and weather unexpected events without being forced into desperate decisions. In a hyper-competitive world, flexibility is a powerful advantage. The book argues that savings is not just about accumulating wealth, but about accumulating options and control over your life. Aim for reasonable financial decisions, not perfectly rational ones. The book uses the example of a doctor who successfully treated syphilis with malaria to illustrate that sometimes seemingly irrational decisions can be effective. Similarly, in finance, prioritizing what helps you sleep well at night might be more beneficial than strictly adhering to mathematically optimal strategies. As Jason Zweig says, people are neither rational nor irrational. We are human. The book cautions against relying solely on past data to predict the future. It emphasizes the importance of expecting surprises, acknowledging that things that have never happened before happen all the time, as Scott Sagan, quoted in the book, explains. The book also notes that relying too heavily on history can cause you to miss the outlier events that often have the biggest impact. It also highlights how structural changes, like the rise of 401ks and the growth of the venture capital industry, make historical comparisons less relevant. Room for error is essential. Drawing on the example of blackjack card counters, the book highlights the importance of anticipating that things won't always go as planned. Building a margin of safety into your financial plans allows you to withstand unexpected events and stick around long enough to benefit from long-term growth. As Benjamin Graham notes, the purpose of the margin of safety is to render the forecast unnecessary. Accept that your goals and priorities will change over time. The book discusses the end-of-history illusion, which is the tendency to underestimate how much we will change in the future. This can lead to long-term financial plans that no longer align with our evolved desires. The book suggests avoiding extreme financial plans and being willing to adjust your course as your life unfolds. As Jason Zweig writes about Daniel Kahneman, I have no sunk costs. Everything has a price. Successful investing requires enduring volatility, fear, and doubt. Many investors try to avoid these costs, but the book argues that they are the price of admission for long-term gains. Viewing these costs as fees rather than fines can help you endure them and benefit from long-term growth. Recognize that people often believe stories that justify their desires, even when those stories overestimate the odds of success. The book highlights the danger of appealing fictions, stories we believe because we want them to be true. It explains why people fall for financial scams like Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme, and why they overestimate their ability to predict the market. Narratives drive financial decisions. The book uses the analogy of an alien observing the 2008 financial crisis to illustrate how changes in narratives, rather than tangible economic changes, can have a profound impact. It emphasizes that stories are the most potent force in the economy, driving booms and busts, and influencing individual decisions. Understanding this can help you avoid being swept up in popular narratives that don't align with your goals. We all have incomplete views of the world, but we create narratives to fill in the gaps. The book uses the author's daughter as an example of how, even with limited understanding, we create narratives to make sense of the world. In finance, this can lead to overconfidence and poor decisions. Acknowledging our limited understanding can help us make more informed choices. The book's central takeaway is that financial success is not primarily about intelligence or complex strategies, but about understanding and managing your own psychology. It's about how you behave with money, not just what you know about finance. No one's crazy. Everyone's financial decisions make sense to them in their own context. Enough is enough. Define what enough means to you to avoid the endless pursuit of more. Time is your friend. The longer your time horizon, the more powerful compounding becomes. Survival is key. Avoid ruin at all costs. It's the prerequisite for long-term success. Room for error is essential. Plan for things not going according to plan. You'll change. Your goals and desires will evolve, so be flexible. Nothing's free. Understand and be willing to pay the price of success. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.